The gentleman with the mosaic shirt sitting there, the corner standing up.
Oh, mosaic. Can you put it on this because it will be better. Yeah. Give us your name also.
My name is Sakib. I'm a PhD
You can sit down and speak. Sorry.
Here. Sir, I have two set of questions.
Yeah.
The first one is that you have proven charges of plagiarism against you by your own publisher.
Proven no.
By your own publisher.
Proven no.
Yes, the publisher has accepted and they have said that they will remove the pages of the plagiarism from the book.
So let me answer. May I answer?
Is that your question? You asked your question or are you? This is not an interview.
Can I answer the first question?
That was the first question.
But
This
can
is
I
not
answer?
an interview, not
First question.
No, but let me answer the first question.
We discuss, sir.
Let me answer the first question. Let me answer the first question. Okay. I knew it is coming and I'm very glad it came because in India they refused to give me a chance to talk on this. So now I have my chance and we are on camera. So I will read out the notes I discussed with Ravi of the Hindu, and he was so impressed. He said, "Send me all this. We ought to have this published." Of course, he couldn't convince Malini to publish, and we have correspondence, him and me, over this. So I'll tell you what I wrote to him. First, plagiarism is a charge of theft. So if somebody steals your stuff, you take it to court. I challenged them to take me to court earlier, and I still challenge them, and I'll tell you why they haven't done it and why they won't do it. Also, if it's a problem between two American entities, one American who claims he has intellectual property and the other he claims has stolen his intellectual property, then why is it that there is zero coverage in the American media on this issue? Why is it that Indians are obsessed? Why is it that so-called proof and all this has happened, which I will tell you is not happened because I have correspondence with my publisher. I have hundreds of emails back and forth I can tell you about. There's no such thing. Why is it that if the case is so strong, then the mainstream media is so afraid to let me speak because of what I might tell?
Absolutely. Yes.
So now let me tell you a little bit about the situation. And then I'll tell you about how the so-called Indian intellectual elite are quite dumb because they don't understand the argument. They go on somebody's reputation, somebody's branding. They go on suni sunai baat. Usne kaha hai to aapko ye honge. But they have no ability to think on their own. If I give you evidence, most of these guys I talk to can't speak, can't understand, don't have analytical, critical thinking skills. It seems like almost a crutch for them to say उसने कहा था ठीक होगा, उसने वो कहा था आपके बारे में. It's all smear, defamation, and who's able to get his message through. So it's all controlling the channels. That is what elitism is all about, and that is why they are colonized people. Large part of Indian intellectuals are colonized because they can't think for themselves. I am the defendant here. I've been accused of a huge crime.
Sir,
I have a right to defend myself.
Sir, excuse me, sir. I would like to intervene. This is not a cross-questioning session. We have opened up the floor for single questions.
No, wait a second.
This is not a public debate.
Wait, you don't have to say it because you're interrupting. Let me just complete my point. I don't have too much to say, but let me at least make my main point. Now I will tell you that a book was written by Nicholson. I don't know how many of you bothered to read it. Yeah, you accepted that something was stolen from that book, but I don't think you've read it, most of you.
Andrew Nicholson, Unifying Hinduism.
Yeah, I understand that. That is the name of the book, but have you read it? Because I challenged Andrew Nicholson to tell me anything original in his book. If it is his property that I've stolen, then it has to be first of all his property, and I claim it is not his property. There is nothing original in that book. It is basically a paraphrasing and translation into English, into slick English, of things that Indian writers have written for the last few centuries. And most of these guys come here, they have a lot of money, they'll hire some pundits to translate things for them, they'll hire native informants to tell them things, and they will cut paste from here and there. And you can call it plagiarism if you want, but according to the American system, if you not use the actual words, you just plagiarize the ideas, that would not be called plagiarism. But if you look at plagiarism of ideas, there is not a single original idea, because they're writing the history of various Indian texts, and these texts were written long before any of these people were around. They have not even seen these original texts, they don't even know how to translate them. They've basically cut and paste prior Indian works. So what I did in the new, to prove my point, I told the publisher, I will not correct anything, and I will tell you what the errors were, and they were copy editing errors of a technical nature. I will come and tell you the details of how many, what errors they were, what they weren't, and why it doesn't qualify as plagiarism. I will come to that. But as a, or not revenge, but as a statement I was making, I said to the publisher, I will not correct any one of them. In fact, what I will do is I will replace the 10 pages of which was a summary of, it was a 10-page literature review. In your papers you do literature review. So I am doing a literature review of various authors. One of them was Nicholson, and I did a 10-page summary saying I'm doing a literature review of his book. That is not plagiarism when you say I'm doing a literature review of his book. And 30, if you search the PDF of that book, for Nicholson, there are 33 references of 33 times the word Nicholson appears. You do not plagiarize Nicholson and refer to him 33 times. You don't do that. I'm about to finish. Outside, the original book is available. All you have to do is look in the index. May I please? All you have to do is look in the index and look under Nicholson and see how many times, how many pages Nicholson is there. And if a man wanted to plagiarize Nicholson, he'd be a fool to refer to him 33 times. Okay, so when I mentioned this to Ravi, who's a smart guy, he said, is that true? I said, yes, I'm going to send you right now, as we speak, I'm going to send you a PDF. I'll be on the phone to do a search and tell me how many times. And he was surprised. He said, nobody ever told us that. I said, that is because you guys, without due diligence, just because a white man said something, you believed it because you have an inferiority complex. I told him that. No, not yet. No. You gave me a chance, I'm taking the chance. So, when Nicholson's book came out, there was a print run of 500 copies. No, but you give me, no sir, I've been told I'm a thief, and I've been told I've been proven to be a thief, and I have a right to defend myself. No sir, you can go out. No. We are going to talk about plagiarism because this is my forum on camera that you guys cannot receive a response with dignity because you just are used to parroting and shouting. Since you cannot deal with the work I do and cannot criticize and give a response to the substance of my arguments, therefore you are trying to insinuate, come up with these false allegations, and even when I respond to the false allegations, you don't have the decency to listen to my response. You made a very, very harsh and strong and powerful allegation, and I have a response. You called me a thief, and I have a response to defend myself, and I'm defending myself. Okay? Yeah. So when they published Nicholson's book, it was a print run of around 500. That's it. And when My Indra's Net came out with 32 references to his book, they did suddenly a print run of a few thousand because it became more popular. So, if your property has been stolen, actually your value has gone up and not down. You have not suffered a loss. Even if somebody had stolen your property, to prove in court intellectual property theft, you have to show that you lost something, you lost value. And I would show that he gained value because I quoted him 32 times. So it was not fair. So now I want to tell you what happened. Please understand. In order to protect my publisher, I couldn't go out and say copy editor made an error. I couldn't say that because it would be not the right thing, and I have a good relationship with my publisher. We're very close together, and on this issue and many other issues. We even decided that now is not the time to respond. Let my new book, The Battle of Sanskrit, come out, because every time there flare up issues to prevent this new book from coming out. Now that the book has come out, we decided, we had a joint agreement that the revised, where I've taken out Nicholson and replaced it with original Indian sources that he used, some with acknowledgement, some without acknowledgement. So I've taken out those 10-12 pages of Nicholson and put in the Indian sources where he got his knowledge from in place of it, and printed a new book. And this change of text from the old to the new, I'm going to put on the website of Indra's.net, so anybody who has got an old copy will be able to see what has changed. And in that change, I start out by giving a reason why I'm changing. Why I'm changing is that what I quoted was second-hand information. I'm giving credit to an American for things he did not do, and he's not satisfied that I've credited him 32 times. He wants 3 books. So according to them, there should have been 35 references, and there were 32. And that's called plagiarism. Okay? So plagiarism means that you wanted to hide that that it is from him, and you wouldn't say it 32 times if that was the intention. Okay? So what happened is, if I don't know, can I have a copy of any book? I will show you how a block, just any book, not okay. So I don't know if you can see this, but let me take a block quote and show you how a block quote can get lost in the main text. Let me just quickly find a block quote. I have so many of them, but when I need one, I can't find one. So here it is. Okay. So here is. I don't know if you can see it, but here is a block quote. Okay. So it's a block quote, which means that it's a quote. It's a quote, and according to some conventions, you put quotation mark on a block quote. According to the conventions of HarperCollins, if it's a block quote, you do not put a quotation mark. If you have, then remove it, and you indent it. You indent it so all of you, when you write papers, if the quotation is within the sentence, within the main text, you put it in quotation marks. If the quote is a block quote, you don't put quotation marks. So if this formatting were lost, if I had a 3-line, 4-line block quote, and the formatting were lost, and that indentation were gone, and it became part of the text before and after, it would look like I should have put quotation marks, which I didn't. Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. I have a whole trace of versions I did, and sent it for this editor, that editor, sent it back, this reviewer, that reviewer. Somewhere along the way, I decided certain things to change the sequence, copied a whole lot of pages, cut them, and moved them earlier or moved them later. And when I did the paste, that formatting of the separate paragraph was lost. And I do that mistake quite a few times. Quite often I lose the indentation. I don't know how many of you do that. When you do copy paste, sometimes the formatting changes. So this should have been caught, wasn't caught. So basically, what you find, which is considered plagiarism, is somebody else's Nicholson's text. After that, it says in parentheses Nicholson page whatever, but it doesn't have quotation marks. And in some cases, it puts an end note, and in the end note, it says something Nicholson page whatever, but it doesn't put quotation marks. And this is considered plagiarism. So I am sorry if this is the state of the Indian intellectuals. No, not only are you colonized, but you're really slaves. You're really slaves. And so what happened is, what happened is. So what happened is that there was a white man who wait, I am a defendant, I have to defend myself. But I'm giving a defense. I have been accused. No, you thought that मैं फंस जाऊंगा और आप फंस गए. Okay, बात ये है कि आप फंस गए.
please. Anybody, please.
Okay.
I will move to the next question.
No, wait a second. One more point. Richard Fox Young gave the impression that he's a Princeton University professor, which he is not. None of the people in the Indian press bother to verify, and these so-called intellectuals with academic rigor are supposed to verify the facts. None of them verified the fact that he has got nothing to do with Princeton University. He lives in a town with nearby, and he runs a Christian seminary. Nothing wrong with that. And he and I have had fights over a long time. So he thought कि ये बुद्धू Indians को बेवकूफ बनाना बहुत आसान है. So I will make a fool out of them by getting them to rally and support me. So basically, a person like that made an idiot out of some of you. That is what happened. Okay, and so in order to save the relationship with my publisher, in order to save their reputation, because they were getting attacked on social media for no reason, I told them, I'll take the heat, let my new book come out. When the new book comes out, then we'll print all this stuff about Indra's Net. So we are actually out there. We may even sue some of these people. For defamation. Okay, so I just want to tell you one thing. If you think you have a case of one American stealing from another American, then you should go to the US court and file a litigation, and I will file a litigation right back. And unless and until you can do that, you should keep your mouth shut.